So, welcome everyone to another Wednesday Cosmic Rose Honey Circle. I'm so excited to be here with you all. So, as per usual, we're going to open up with our Q&A circle. If there's anything that you want to share about what you're moving through, any questions that you have, anything that you want support on, nothing is off limits. We know that the healing journey, the Kundalini process is so multidimensional. So, yeah, if you have any questions or shares, just feel free to unmute and then we can go from person to person.
Okay.
Hi.
I Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? Okay, Marsha's trying to join in again. Let me just add her in. Yes.
Um, I'm good. I feel like it's funny when I come to these calls. This is only second one I've been to, but of like the nerves that come up in my body, that's like excitement, but also I'm like, is this anxiety? And so I'm feeling
All
that.
welcomed here. It's all welcomed here. We love those parts of us that go, "Ah," like sweaty palms, heart beating. Like, I have those parts. Yes. I totally
So
feel it.
I'm like, I'm good, but I also feel these things happening. Um, so I do have a question though on. And I appreciate actually how you even had spoken like the healing journey is very multi-dimensional and faceted and
Right.
it's not just black and white. So I guess I'm still grasping and like understanding the language of at least like Kundalini and what I would say also the healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
Um and there's things that you have said before that I've resonated with, like in part of your journey with just having a time of like months in your life that just feeling it all and right like just not being able to get out of bed in moments and just like it being really heavy, I guess, or right like just all of it.
Yeah.
um, and I really resonate with that right now, and I also see where like you even sharing that, I remember even being like, okay, I get to actually embrace that versus like I've been resisting it so much and it's been like elongating it,
Mm,
looking back and forth and not just being all in it.
right.
And so I guess my question is with it is like, do you have insight or maybe like a reframe for me in like around trusting it, the process? And yeah, when it comes to, I see where I get really scared and then like my confidence of myself. And
Mm-hmm.
then with that, not being able to really like financially support myself right now,
Mm-hmm.
but also having kind of a safety net, which I didn't have in the beginning of, I guess, my journey of feeling this way. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like also, yeah, like I don't need to worry so much about money, but I see where I'm like, oh, okay, my confidence though, and even feeling like I'm able to do anything where I'm asking for money right now because I just feel like a mess.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
You for sharing that. Like I see and witness you so deeply, and I just, yeah, want to reiterate that you are so not alone in feeling this. And this is honestly, especially, I'm not too sure like the nature of your work. Is it also like healing work that you share and kind of like self-development related work that you're doing?
yes, like confidence in the feminine and expression. And because I feel like my eroticism has almost died,
Mm,
oh, how do I step it back into the space of leadership and then charging money?
mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
totally hear you with that. So, one thing that has really helped me in kind of seeing this whole journey unfold is understanding that, especially when we are here, when our souls are like, I know that I have a big mission. I know that I'm here to be a leader. One thing that the divine makes sure of, especially if we're heart centered and we're like, I want to do this in a way of integrity, is that we have to go through the experiences, the healing, like you said, like the crying, the falling apart in order to be truly deeply embodied in the things that you're here to teach. And so during this season of your life where the mind that only operates on a linear plane is going to be like, you're not good enough, you're behind, you're doing a bad thing, this is wrong. Again, that's a part of us that feels that way. And that's a part of us that have been conditioned by many things, by perhaps our parental beliefs, by society as a whole, which is fueled by capitalism. Capitalism means, in many cases, that if you're not producing, if you are not accomplishing, if you're not making money, you're not good enough, right? So there's so many different factors for us to understand and take a step back to give more context even to the part of us that might be stepping in and resisting and going like, this should not be happening, you should be making money, you should be doing stuff. That context helps us to have compassion for that part. It helps us to understand where the resistance might be coming in to validate it. And also, it gives us a space to remember this longer term journey that we are on. What we are building over a lifetime is our life's work. And what is going to lead our life's work is us in our embodiment and in our truth. So, when we look at also what we're doing, not just as a business that is measured in what's your success month to month, but you're building a body of work over a lifetime, we understand that there are different seasons of how that happens. Nobody comes into this work going like, I know how to do everything. And when I first started this, I thought I could. I was like, yeah, I know everything. Everything was up here, right? Everything was intellectual. Everything was information that I read in books, watched in documentaries and stuff. But it wasn't until going through exactly what you described, the months of crying, falling to pieces, everything is like being torn away, that I can actually take what I know here and drop it into the body. So when you
Mm,
see it in that way, you realize right now it's actually a significant investment that you are making in yourself and in your life's work in the long run, right? Everything that you're doing, this time that you're seemingly taking away from making more money, is actually the work that is necessary to not just make you money in the long term, but to allow you to fully show up and serve your mission. In order for you to show up and speak, and there's truth in your words because you felt through the things, you've moved through the things. And so it's really learning for us to see our businesses and what we're doing in not just a linear way of month to month. Again, I this month I didn't make money, oh this month I'm unproductive, but to see how everything adds up for us over time. That's another belief that I really held close and dear to my heart when navigating through some of the roughest moments, whether it was emotional, whether it was financial. You might have seen some of the posts that I share too, like the last couple of years I've been a huge risk taker in my business, right? Money comes in, I'm like, put it all out there, I'm gonna do retreats, I'm gonna learn this thing, I'm gonna do that thing. And there have been so many moments where I'm there like shaking, like, what did I do? I'm not okay. But the belief that has kept me going again and again is that everything adds up for me. And that's the thing, is that, that's a choice that we make, right? If you believe that everything adds up for you, that means that this breakdown period is adding up for you. These moments where you can't work, it's adding up for you. These moments where you're being confronted by very uncomfortable emotions, it's adding up for you. Why? Because it's allowing you to have a relationship with yourself. It's allowing you to meet yourself in some of your most uncomfortable edges, which is going to create more safety in your nervous system, which then means over time, you're not going to fear as much. Your energy isn't going to be zapped by, oh, I feel sad, oh, I feel disappointed. You're developing the capacity to hold yourself through all of those emotions. And what I've really found in my life and in my business as well is that going through the rough part in the beginning, you're like, if I were to judge my success based on external circumstances, based on my inner state, I'm a failure, right? But through the willingness to keep on going no matter what, through your devotion of it's all adding up for me, it's all adding up for me, there's no other way but for it to become a self fulfilling prophecy, that everything you live through gets turned into something beautiful, that every challenge you go through, every single time you've questioned yourself, you doubt yourself, every single time the darkness, the shadows come up, that all gets to be turned into deeper embodiment of your medicine, of your work. And so, what has also helped me during those periods of my life too is checking in with myself and going like, okay, what's all the information that's up in here? What are the things that I want to teach? What are the things that I want to stand for? And how can I start practicing that for myself? How can I really become my own best client, if you will, in a period where I don't have the capacity to really serve anybody else except for myself, right? I have to make sure that I'm in a better place. How can I embody and practice everything that I believe to be true, that I've learned? And through that is where you're going to find yourself being able to navigate through some of these darker, more uncomfortable moments. And on the other side, not only do you have embodied wisdom to share with people, you've got stories, you've got that expanded nervous system capacity to deal with and navigate all the other challenges that life throws your way. So seeing it more so as this period, this season that is necessary for your long-term growth in your business is really, really helpful. And again, business aside, long-term growth of you as a human being, long-term growth for the evolution of your soul, long-term growth for your body of work, right? We cannot escape this. We need this period because this is what needs to be moved through in order for us to see the flip side of that, right? How a dualistic world works is that without challenge, you will not know your strength. Without the darkness, without the sadness, you will not know your capacity for joy. And so we would constantly be in a fear state, right? In the mind, usually we're checked out. We're like, I'm afraid, I'm nervous, it doesn't work out. What if this? What if that? What if that? And we think that's somehow better than just falling apart, but really falling apart is one of the greatest blessings because it brings you straight back to your body. You're able to confront the things that your mind has been like, what if this happens? What if that happens? I'm afraid, I'm afraid. You actually live through so many of your worst fears and you come out on the other side and you say, guess what? I'm still alive. I always joke and I say, Bish is still here. It's like, I'm okay. Then through that you build your resilience, you build your power, and you're able to take on all these other things that a couple of years ago your mind might be like, oh, we can never do that. Boom, you see how your capacity builds. Does that help?
Yeah. Yes. So helpful. It's like was what I hear, and there was even like really all of it, but there was also like key moments, like you talked about compassion and like validation.
Yeah.
And even that I see where like I'm trying to defend it so much that it's like I'm not then doing that. And then there was also another thing of remembering to like be my own best client right now. And because I've spent so much time, I feel like defending to like my relationship and anyone outside that doesn't understand what I'm going through,
Mm.
that I'm putting so much effort there. And instead, it's like I can give my own validation to myself. Like I don't need it from others. And I've been in a space of like clinging on to like someone else outside me give me this validation because, like, yeah, being just in it and right, being like, is this really what's happening right now? When, right, like the way society is, and just coming back to the motherfucking self.
Yeah.
It was, yes, thank you. That was like exactly what I needed to hear. And I feel excited to do that every day because there's moments that I start to spiral in, right, anxiety, and it's like, what am I doing next? And it's like, oh, just be my own best client right now, like lead myself right now instead of waiting for
Yeah.
fall out of the sky or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah,
and also it's like it's only through the presence of those anxiety moments though that you even have the opportunity to lead yourself. You see what
yeah.
I mean? So then it's really powerful because, part of like the Kundalini process, like the spiritual awakening process, one of our highest aims, if you will, is to transition out of a dualistic way of thinking, which is that this is good, this is bad. This shouldn't be happening. I want this to be happening, right? That's like the root of a lot of our suffering is that we're trying to chase and get something and run away from something else. And so here, if you're able to see that, oh, even when I am anxious, that anxiety is serving me because it's giving me an opportunity to lead myself. It's giving me an opportunity to know myself at a deeper level, to know my strength, to know my courage, to know my devotion, that even the anxiety moment is not bad, is not wrong. Then what happens is that when you have those anxious moments, it doesn't, you still feel it, it's still very much real, but there's no emotional charge to it. There's no, I gotta get away from you. I'm like, oh, I'm human. Cool. I breathe, I do my things, I got my practices. Okay, move on to the next moment. So it really is all like the most largest gift in the unfolding right now for you. But again, when you're living through it moment by moment, when we're really honed in and zoomed in, all we can see in front of us is like, I don't know what to do, or like, this is so difficult. And that's okay, that's valid, right? But wherever there is the opportunity, if we can just zoom out a little bit, see how your life has already aligned and worked out for you up until now. And you can trust that the same force that has orchestrated your life, I always say the same force that knows how to help your heart beat, the same force that knows how to help you automatically breathe without your mind needing to control it, the same force that tells the trees when to grow their leaves and when to have their leaves shed, that's the same force that we're trusting here. It's like everything in nature works in perfection. And somehow we think that, no, my mind just got to control. It's got to be like this. It's got to be like that. Right. The biggest reason why we do that is because we're afraid of feeling the pain and the fear. So the more that you said you have the compassion, the more that you validate yourself, the more that you hold the space for yourself to feel all of that, you say, this is so fucking challenging right now, but I'm just gonna breathe like one breath at a time. Like I might not feel like I'm okay. I might just like I always say a fetal position, rock a little bit, like but then you see, I'm okay, I'm okay. And that's how we teach your body that it's able to hold a lot and we're able to love ourselves through it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Oh
my
my gosh, I'm
pleasure.
grateful for space and just
Yes.
so thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the great question. Like, I'm sure so many of us can relate to this. Yeah, Marcia says, I needed to hear this as well. I'm so grateful for this question and insight. Yes, I love it. This is why community support is the best, right? We all go through the same shit. We think that we're alone. We come on, we're like, oh, phew, thank gosh. We're like, yeah, I've been through that. Yeah, I'm going through that. Amazing. Paula, Marcia, would either of you like to ask or share anything before we get started?
I'll share.
Yeah, hello.
I'm new.
Yes, welcome, welcome.
um, yeah, I've been stalking you on Instagram for a little while, and so I thought I'd join in a non-creepy way.
Yeah.
Um, I know you've probably taken, I don't expect you to spend much time on this, but I facilitate Kundalini as well, and I've been doing energy healing for many, many years. Kundalini only in the last probably 8 months.
Mhm.
It's been huge, massive. Life has changed, all the things. My biggest thing is trying to communicate, and it's not just Kundalini, it's my spiritual, everything that goes on within my inner world, trying to share that with others, putting it into words. It's like I know I've got issues here.
Mm.
It's all here. It's all here. This is my granddaughter. And yeah, just getting it into words so that people can feel.
Oh, I think you're cutting off a little bit, Paula. Is Paula frozen on your guys' end too? Okay.
That I'm feeling.
I think she'll come back in a second. Usually Zoom just has a delay. Oh,
Oh,
okay, you're back, Paula.
it's my internet. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
good.
back. It's my internet. Hang on, I'm
Yeah,
just
I
going to
think I heard
turn
most of
things
that.
off.
You mentioned yeah, like finding it challenging to put into words your spiritual experiences and how to share it and feeling some kind of throat things around it.
Yeah, it's like I can feel the word that I need. Even now, like my language is so simple. Like I can feel the words that I need, but I just can't pluck them out of my mind. But if I'm on my own, can come up with the most, beautiful ways of explaining how I feel.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So what
put me on a Zoom call with my community, and I'm like, bleh.
mm, what do you feel like is coming up? Is there like a specific fear? Is there a specific thought that tends to come up like right before? It's like because what you're saying is like you usually have the words if you're on your own, but then all of a sudden you put someone in front of you, you think about writing an Instagram post, boop, like there's something that comes up.
Yeah.
What is it?
So
Are
I
you
think what it is I am very much only just starting to embody myself. So I'm 48
Mhm,
and only just discovered that I'm so fearful to be in my body
mhm.
through plant ceremony. I realized that Hannah, can you come cry back, please? I realized that I'm never in my body. I'm always out of my body. So when I go, I avoid group messages and things like that because I feel so much. I feel so ungrounded and I'm like swimming in everyone else's stuff. And when it's in a group, it's a lot and I can't even pinpoint one of the, do you know what I mean? It's like a
Mhm.
sea of emotion. Um, I think that's my problem. So I'm
Yeah.
still learning to embody, and when I can embody myself, I feel so rooted and so great, and I can do that while I hold healings. But when it comes to speaking, I don't know. It's just I fly straight back out again. It's like it's not safe to be here. I've got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to the point where I can see myself in front of me.
Mm,
Like, so I'm out. It's very
yeah.
annoying. And I don't expect you to have an answer for that, but I just, yeah, that's where I'm at. This is where I'm at.
Ah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Again, like so feel you with that. I think Maria also shared in the chat, I can relate to this. The first thing I'll say is that, for those of us who feel called to this path of like spiritual healing, especially Kundalini related work, it's not our first lifetime doing this. And there's so much that we carry with us into this lifetime, even from past lives, about our fears of using our voice, speaking. How is this work going to be received? Is this going to be good enough? Or will we even get killed for this work? So there's a lot of
Mm,
things that get brought up in this process as you're stepping into your embodiment as a facilitator. So I just want to normalize that everything that you are being confronted with right now that are coming up to meet with you, these are all very, very normal and huge parts of what we get to heal within ourselves. So one of the first things I'll say too is that, um, again, unfortunately, we don't have the time to go into it in detail, but what I'm sensing is that there is a part of you that has experienced some kind of disconnection to safety, which we can, call also like a form of trauma at some point. There's a part that has felt some kind of uncomfortable emotion. Perhaps it is fear, shame, sadness around using your voice. So these could usually be like, for example, when you have spoken when you were younger, if somebody said, "Oh, that's stupid. No, like I don't get it," or whatever. There's some kind of wound there. And so what you're actually sensing when the mind goes blank, it's actually a very brilliant autonomic nervous system response that's coming up as a protector part of you comes up and says, "Nope, halt, stop. We're not going to let you potentially hurt again." So it's better to just scramble your mind and for you to believe that you don't know what to say than it is for you to actually say something. And what if somebody doesn't like it? What if somebody rejects it? And then you feel the same way. But again, the
yeah,
irony of doing that is like we already feel not good when our mind does that. So, one thing that'll be really, really powerful for you to do is to notice and sense when you feel that hope, the halt, where it's like I lose my words, I feel myself even dissociated from my body. As much as you can, tune inwards to see where does that sensation originate in my body. Does it originate first as a clenching in my throat? Maybe my shoulders tense up, maybe my heart knots. And allow that sensation. You can put your hand to wherever you sense it, breathe into it, connect with it, and start to form a relationship with that part. And
yeah,
not needing to have any agenda of like, oh, I have to get rid of you, I have to change you, right? Usually the part's like, ah. So we say, you're welcome here. Let me breathe with you and starting to flesh it out a little bit, understand how is this part representing itself? Do I actually see an image? And many times when I've supported clients through this, they'll see themselves like 5 years old, or they'll see like a younger version of themselves that is needing to speak, that is needing to be validated for their experiences. So that's something that I would really recommend that, you're able to kind of tap into, especially in the moments that it comes up. Um, and then the other thing is just on a regular basis as an ongoing practice. You mentioned, coming back into your body and feeling safe in your body, and just knowing that that too is an incremental practice. So every single day, whenever you feel, especially any fear or contraction, exactly the practice that we have just mentioned, noticing where it is, holding yourself in those places, and just practicing sending some breath there. That gets to
yeah.
be the beginning, right? Breath. Then we move into sensation, right? What can I feel and sense? Is there tingliness? Is there heaviness? Is there a weight? And then perhaps also moving gradually into, what kind of sounds might want to come through. Like maybe I feel
Mhm.
that heaviness in my heart before I write something and it's like, right? And you just give
Yeah,
yourself the three simple layers. We just begin with the initial layers of embodiment, of breath, sensation, and sound, and play with that within your own body. So this will just help you to get to know the sensations in your body a bit more and find safety with these parts that feel like, oh, somebody's witnessing me, somebody's listening to me. Okay, let me let it out. Okay, let me reveal more, right? This is really a dance with the parts of us that have been afraid, that have been made wrong, that have created protective mechanisms because of trauma and pain. And it's a dance with them where we create the space to say, it's safe for you to come out. Some parts might be like running to the dance floor, like, yay, at last. Some parts might be like, no, I'm a bit skeptical. I don't really trust you. And that's okay. We hold the space and we go about it a little bit at a time every day.
Thank you. No,
Yeah.
that really it does make sense, especially the childhood stuff. And actually, I had a drop in of who I need to contact, a friend
Mm,
who can help me with that. She does neuro work.
beautiful.
So I think she'd be able to help me with that as well as embodiment. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm learning. It's very, I have to consciously do it. Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
thank you. That
Yeah.
it's just nice to be able to have someone understand. Thank you. It's good.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I so relate to it. And I think that the journey of reclaiming our voice is one of the most beautiful journeys that we can be on.
Mm,
To witness
yeah.
yourself at the beginning going like, I don't know what to say. I don't know if this makes any sense. I don't know if people care. I'm afraid of messing up. That's how I felt like 4 years ago. I was like, nobody cares about what I have to say. But it's like we have to have had that moment. We have to have that starting point and those experiences to witness our evolution with time.
Mm,
So you're exactly where you're meant to be. And these incidences that happen are reflecting back to us parts that we get to further reconcile and bring back into peace and love. So it becomes a very profound inner healing journey, as well as in the evolution of our purpose, right? How we can step even more into using our voice and our leadership.
yeah. Yeah. Thank
Amazing.
you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. Thank you. Marcia, was there anything that you'd like to ask or share before we get started?
All good. I just love today's questions.
Yeah, amazing. Glad to hear that. Yeah, it's always so cool. Again, we come on, we're like, yes, that's exactly what I need to hear. So good. Okay. So I'm gonna pin myself. I do have to go to the bathroom before we get started, but I'm gonna explain the meditation very quickly. I'll run to the bathroom and then we'll get started. So Cosmic Rose Honey is a silent meditation. It is essentially the holding of the Shakti consciousness field and creating the space for the downwards descending force of the mother to come through our crown, beginning to open up our higher centers, opening up our third eye, our throat, our heart chakra, and facilitating our Kundalini awakening process. This idea of a downwards descending pour of grace that guides us, that supports our Kundalini process, is something that those of you who might have been in the Kundalini space for a while, you might have heard of the Indian philosopher Sri Aurobindo. So Sri Aurobindo has spoken extensively about the mother's force, and so that's really what we're playing with here. In working with the mother's force and the cosmic rose honey, it's realizing that this force has always been available for us to access. But because of our conditioning, because of our traumas and pains, our hearts are normally closed, our fields are normally closed, and we're not actually able to receive it. So, what we're doing here is creating the conditions through an open heart, through the curiosity, through the receptivity, and the meditation is done in silence. All you have to do is just really feel yourself expanding, merging with any sensations that arise. And if it's helpful for you, if you like some kind of a visual cue, you can turn your gaze inwards and upwards towards the opening of your crown. And as you breathe, you just visualize this beautiful honey nectar flowing down and beginning to open your crown. So, this is the nectar and the representation of truth, love, peace, and bliss. And so there's not a lot of doing, like you don't have to like force and focus and like, pull in the energy. The energy is there already wanting to come in. It's more so holding that openness, the softened surrender, and allowing the grace to pour and to soak us up. So yeah, the meditation is done in silence. You just have to focus on a calm and neutral breath. If at any point you have thoughts come in, resistances, that's part of the dance. We just show those parts of us compassion and love. We come back to our breath and we continue to surrender. Cool? Any questions about that? We're good? Amazing. Okay, I'm gonna go run to pee. It'll be very fast, like 30 seconds. Just get yourself comfortable. Yeah, if you need to grab a cushion, do anything to get yourself nice and comfortable in your space. When I come back, I'll let you know when the meditation has started. I'll put myself on mute and then I'll let you know when the meditation is over. So be right back. All right, so we're going to lengthen out our spine. If there's any final shakes in the shoulders or neck roll for you to get nice and comfy. We lengthen through the spine, slowly closing our eyes, turning our gaze inwards. The meditation will be 20 minutes. So allow yourself to get settled, connect with your breath, feel your being softening. And again, our biggest focus is just to melt and merge with all the sensations. And one thing that really supports the meditation as well is trying to play with the idea that you are not trying to meditate. You are not doing the meditation, but you are allowing the divine to meditate upon you, and you're allowing the meditation to be done through you. Just noticing how that shifts in your experience. So we'll get started, and I will let you know once the meditation is complete. Slowly connecting back to your breath. Deep inhale in, deep exhale out. Just letting your breath be an anchor back into this time and space, helping you arrive back into this moment. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes.